Aloha, this is Asia Iyer. I'm here with Maui Pono Network to give you an update of this week's county council and county committee and county commissions and boards preview. So let's talk about what's going on. Again, this is it's kind of a wind down week. The council members have chosen to not put very intense public opinion dividing issues on their committee meetings here at the end because they want to get everything wrapped up as we move into budget, which happens in April. So from April to June 10th, the council focuses solely on the budget that's delivered to them from the mayor, and they go through it with a fine-tooth comb. There will be an opportunity for the public to weigh in on that budget, but there's nothing else is put on any meetings. And the budget committee runs all of the meetings from April until June. But so these next 2 weeks, we're going to see a lot of just cleanup, finishing up other bills and stuff. Probably the thing I'm going to be watching closely again are those community advisory boards. It's showing up at the Great Committee on Tuesday morning to establish community advisory boards for Haiku Paia and Kihei McKenna. And those community advisory boards would feed into the County Planning Commission. And this is something we should all be fighting for. This increases the involvement of regular citizens in how our land is used, developed, zoned. It has to do with how our environment is utilized and protected. Really, all of the things that have to do with the land, with the Āina, happen in the commission, the Maui Planning Commission, and hopefully in these advisory boards. And the nice thing about advisory boards is it means that community members from those areas will be able to just contribute more to the discussion on what happens to their community. So that's showing up at the Great Committee. It has full support of everyone. It's really just been a logistical issue to this point. There's little things like how much power do they have? Does the Planning Commission have to listen to them? So those are the things that you would want to call and weigh in on if you have an opinion about that. If you've seen how the other community advisory boards in Hana or Molokai or Lanai have worked and there's things that you think are great about those, that would be a good time to call and testify about. At the Agriculture and Public Trust Committee on Tuesday afternoon, they are going to discuss the issue they've had with the county archaeologist. And they weren't clear on the agenda what they're actually going to discuss, but I would guess that they're going to talk about how there have been a number of developments that they haven't had an archaeologist on site, and this has been a big problem. And especially the Hawaiian community, Native Hawaiian community, has been very concerned because we've seen desecration of graves and sacred sites because of the lack of an archaeologist being there directing development. So again, this is a great time to just voice your support. If you're supportive of that, I'm sure we all are. And then the other thing that's coming up on Tuesday at that ag meeting is they'll be discussing the Wailuku Water Company takeover that the mayor has proposed. And if you go on the agenda there, you can read more about it. I recommend learning as much as you can before you testify because there are a lot of moving parts to this. This is important to the island because we're hoping to see a rollout of a takeover of all the public water systems. But we want to do it at the right price and not overpay for dilapidated systems. So it's a balancing act. Of course, we all want this to happen, but when and how is important, especially because we're looking at a county-wide public water. That's a big goal of Maui Pono Network and a lot of the other progressive action groups. So we're trying to be cautious, but yet forceful about it. And that, again, is on Tuesday afternoon. The other thing to watch this week, there's a few commission meetings, but it's really exciting because the Charter Commission starts this week, and everybody will be watching with wide eyes to see what happens. And the Charter Commission is tasked with the job of going through our county charter, or basically our county's constitution, and figuring out how we can amend how our county operates to be more efficient, to be more effective, to care for the environment, to care for the health of the people. And this only happens every 10 years. Everything that they choose to amend does have to go onto the ballot in 2022. So we are going to do our best to get all the public involved, make sure you know what's happening, what amendments you should support, so that when it comes to ballot time, there isn't as much confusion as we had this last go around. And that people are very knowledgeable and understand how we need to support these things, and how the county operates will make one of the biggest differences in our daily lives, but also in the future of the county, because this is what affects our environment. This is what affects how things are developed. This is what affects how people are able to earn livings there. I mean, it's livings here. It really touches all aspects of living in Maui County. So we'll watch that. We'll let you know what happens. And then finally on Friday, we have another full council meeting. Some of the things that are coming up, I did call and talk to a couple of feral animal caretakers, because something coming up on there is they will be discussing the feral animal feeding ban that was recommended by Ricky Hokama last session, so back in November, I think, or October. They said not to be concerned right now. This is really just opening up the discussion again, how money could be put towards really mitigating the damages caused by feral animals, feral non-native animals here in the county. And access deer is a big thing right now. They did release $750,000 worth of grant money today towards access deer management. I think they were all nonprofits, so management money for those nonprofits to go out and take care of the access deer on the 3 islands. The other thing that's happening on that Friday meeting, it'll be probably in the early afternoon, is the county is discussing the acquisition of Baby Beach in Paia. So for those of you that live on this side, this is kind of a big deal. That parking lot's been closed there for Baby Beach for quite a while. The county doesn't really know how to handle it. They'd like to expand the Baldwin Beach Park to encompass Baby Beach and that parking lot. I haven't seen enough information about what the plans are to see if this would be a good thing for us and for public beach access, but I would guess that it is, because it can't get worse than it is now. With that parking lot closed and no one taking care of it, it's definitely degradatory for the beach to have that parking lot just in such disrepair and to have it really so close to the shore. So we'll be reaching out to some of our ocean care specialists to find out how we can support that. But again, those are on Friday. If you have any other questions or you'd like to get involved this week and have time, you can go onto our website or our Facebook page and access our agenda for this coming week. It has the links to all of the meetings. It lets you know how to contribute, how to submit written testimony, or how to call in and do live testimony. And it has little highlights of all those meetings, so you don't have to go through and read every agenda. Again, this is Maui Pono Network. This is our weekly preview of the upcoming week, and we look forward to seeing you 7 days from now. Thank you.